name is Victoria Babel, and I'm going to be teaching a pre-K science lesson on the life cycle of an apple tree. Who likes apples?
Me.
Awesome. Who thinks they know how an apple's made? Emily?
God made them.
Jillian?
They come from the grocery store.
Anybody else? Have any guesses? Okay, well, has anybody ever eaten an apple? Who knows what's in the middle of it? Right?
A core?
A core? What's in that core? Cindy?
Seeds.
Seeds! Good job! So you have a seed. Who knows what you do with a seed?
You're
Emily?
not supposed to spit them at people.
No, you're not supposed to spit them at people. Who knows?
I know.
Abby.
You put them in the ground.
You put them in the ground. Good job. And after you put them in the ground, what does a seed need to grow? Cindy?
Water.
Water. What else does a seed need to grow? Seeds need sunlight to grow. So after you give a seed all those yummy things, you put it in the ground, you give it some water and some sunlight, then does anybody know what happens next? Right?
It sprouts.
It sprouts. Good job. After you give it water and sunlight, a little sprout will come up. It's a little bitty stem with some leaves off of it. And then what do you think the sprout's going to turn into? Abby?
An apple.
An apple. Emily, do you think you know?
That's what I was going to say.
An apple. Well, let's find out. The sprout's going to turn into a tree. Who has trees in their yard at home?
Me.
Does anybody have apples off that tree? No. Okay, well, after the tree grows, there's going to be little bitty flowers, and those little bitty flowers are going to turn into apples. And then you can, whenever they're ready, they're really bright red, they're bright green, they're yellow. Then you get to pick them off. What kind of apples do y'all like? Jillian?
The red ones.
You like the red ones? Abby?
Green.
The green ones, they're kind of sour, aren't they? Yeah. Then you can pick them off, and when you open that apple, there's a seed inside. And then you can plant that seed and grow an apple tree and pick the apples off, and it just goes over and over and over again like a pattern. And that is how apple trees grow. Okay, we are going to read a little book. We're going to read A Day at the Apple Orchard. Yes, Jillian?
What does orchard mean?
Orchard, it's like a farm where all these different apple trees grow, and you can go and you just pick apple trees. There's not a tree with lemons on them, there's not carrots there, there's nothing but apple trees. Emily,
Do carrots grow on trees?
carrots do not grow on trees. Carrots grow out of the ground. But we'll talk about that a different day. It's a sunny day in early fall, perfect for apple picking. Before we go into the orchard, we learn how apples are grown. It has taken many months for them to grow and ripen. Just like all living things, apples need the right amount of rain and sun to be healthy. The life of an apple begins in spring. During the winter months, the tree doesn't grow or change. Why do you think an apple tree doesn't grow or change in winter? It's cold. And when it's cold, what is there not in the sky?
The sun.
The sun. And the sun is what makes things warm, huh? And the seed needs sunlight to grow. This stage is called dormancy. Warm weather awakens the tree and it begins a new cycle of growth. Leaves push out from the tiny buds. 5 petal blossoms grow in beautiful shades of pink or white. Apple farmers set up beehives in the orchard. When a honeybee lands on an apple blossom, it sips the sweet nectar. Tiny grains of pollen stick to its legs. As the bee flies from flower to flower, the pollen it carries fertilizes the blossoms. This is called pollination. As spring turns into summer, the flower petals fall from the trees. On the branch, ovaries begin to grow. They will become apples. All summer long, the apples get bigger and bigger. As autumn approaches, the apples start to ripen. They turn from green to red. Some types of apples, like the Granny Smith, stay green. Others, such as the Golden Delicious, turns yellow. By late summer or early fall, the apples are fully ripened. It's harvest time. We pick up our baskets and get ready for a tractor ride. The tractor takes us into the orchard. We're picking Empire apples today because they are the ripest. Before we start, we learn the best way to pick an apple. Instead of just pulling it off the tree, we turn the eye, which is the bottom of the apple, to the sky and tug gently. We want to make sure that the bud is not damaged for next year. It's time to start picking. Apples bruise easily, so we place them very gently into the basket. While we are picking, we see wire guards at the bottom of the trees. We aren't the only ones who like apple trees. Apple farmers must safeguard the trees from hungry creatures such as rabbits, rodents, and insects. Our baskets are full. It's time to head back to the farm. Now we sample the apples, crisp and delicious. Next, we see how apple juice and cider are made with an old-fashioned hand press. First, the apples are put in the press, then we turn the crank. The cider comes out of the bottom. Then we have a taste test. It's been so much fun learning about apples. We can't wait to come back next year. Okay, we are going to make our own apple book that you get to take home to your mom and dad. And you're going to be able to tell them exactly how an apple is made. So what I want you to do, we're going to start with our first picture. It's going to be the cover of our book. It says, How an Apple Grows. I want you to get pick whatever color apple is your favorite. You can do yellow, you can do green, or you can do red. And I want you to color the big apple and then color all the apples on the apple tree. Make sure you go really slow and stay in the lines. Good coloring, guys. After you get your apples colored, I want you to take out your brown. And I want you to color the trunk of the tree and your seed brown. After you get your tree trunk and your seed colored, I want you to take out your green and I want you to color the leaves on that tree green.
Miss Bobel,
Yes, Jillian.
my tree kind of looks like Christmas because it's green and red.
That's so silly. Okay, after you get that tree colored, what is the very first thing we need to grow an apple tree?
The seed.
It's the seed. I want you to color that big seed brown. After you get that, yes, of course, Abby, you can go potty. After you get that seed colored, On the next picture, I want you to color the seed and the dirt brown. And after you get that seed and that dirt colored brown,
My crayon broke.
here, just use this end. You can color that watering can whatever color you want. And then in the next picture is the sprout. I want you to make sure you're really careful because those are really small lines in the sprout. So you don't have to color very hard. You can just draw one line and make sure you use your green. And color the dirt underneath the sprout brown. Go really slow because it's really tiny too. And then what does a sprout turn into?
The tree.
The tree. So I want you to color the trunk brown.
She took my brown.
Okay. Well then you can color the top part. What color are leaves?
not. It's my brown.
What color are leaves?
The green.
Okay. Color the top of your tree green.
I'm gonna say
And then on your next picture, color the trunk brown, the leaves green, and you can color those apples red, yellow, or green. What's going on, Emily?
I'm fine.
It's okay. You are just fine. There are some people that are a little bit ahead of you, so I was just giving them some more instructions. Take your time. You're doing very good at staying in those lines. Job, y'all. And then whenever you get done coloring that tree with all those yummy apples on it, I want you to color that big apple on the next page red, yellow, or green. And what color are we going to color the seeds?
brown.
Brown. And on that apple, there's a stem. Who knows what color an apple stem is? Jillian?
It's green.
Not
But like the
brown.
It's brown.
Brown.
The leaf
We're
is
going to color the stem.
The leaf is
Brown. The stem
I was
is this little
confused.
piece that comes out of the apple. But you color that leaf green.
You didn't color your stem on the first one.
I forgot. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind.
You're good. Okay. After you get all those pictures cut out, do you see these dotted lines? We are going to cut along these dotted lines. If you cut across this big line first, it's going to be a lot easier to cut out than doing all the little lines first. And put your scissors down. We're going to talk about some scissor safety real fast. Are we going to cut our neighbor's hair?
Yes.
No. Are we going to cut our clothes?
No.
No. Our mommies and daddies would be happy if we came home with holes in our clothes. Are we going to cut our skin? No. What are we going to cut?
Toenails.
Paper. We only cut paper. And are you going to cut out this apple right here?
No.
No. You're going to stay on these dotted lines. Okay,
Ooh,
very,
I like
be very careful and cut along those dotted lines.
I did the last page.
Miss Bobel,
Yes, Jillian.
my pictures have a big space on the top.
That is perfectly okay. Your pictures at the bottom are going to have a big space at the bottom.
Can I cut it off?
Let's leave it there.
I've already cut mine off.
Abby cut hers, so I'm gonna cut mine too.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you didn't say anything, so I went ahead and did it.
Okay. That's beautiful, Emily. Then I want you to put all your trash on the middle of the table so it's all out of your way.
Could be a game. Could make my mom put them in order when I get them.
Okay, do we have them all cut out?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I want everybody to find this picture that says how an apple grows. It's got a picture of the apple tree and an apple and a seed. That's going to be the very first page of our book. Okay, what is the first thing that has to happen to have an apple tree?
You need a seed.
We need a seed. So I want you to find your picture of your seed and put it right behind the cover of your book. And then, what is the next thing that happens?
We plant it.
We plant it. So I want you to find your picture of putting your seed in the dirt with the watering can, and I want you to put it right behind that picture of the seed. And then, what's the next thing that happens?
It grows the sprout.
Sprout! Good job, Abby. I want you to find that picture of the sprout and put it behind the picture of planting the seed. Okay, what does that sprout turn into?
The tree.
The tree. I want you to find the picture of the tree. Now make sure you don't grab the picture of the tree with the apples on it. You want the picture of the tree with just the leaves. And put it behind the picture of the sprout. Alright, so after that tree grows big and tall, what happens?
The apples grow.
The apples grow. So I want you to find the picture of the tree with the apples on it and put it behind the picture of the tree. And then what do you get?
The apple.
The apples, and what's in the middle of the apples?
The seed.
The seeds. Good job. Okay. If you think you have your book in order, I want you to just lay it on your table. Don't touch it. And I have a little surprise for y'all. We are going to get to eat apples. I'm going to give it to you, and I want you to look for the seeds. Make sure you don't swallow them because they might make your tummy hurt. But I want you to look for the seeds in your apple.
Thank you. Is that a seed? It is.
Look, I got seeds right.
All right, now I'm going to come
Well,
back, and I'm, good job. I'm going to make sure that your book is in order. I'm going to staple it together so you can take it home and show your moms and dads.
Can we eat them?
Yeah, you can eat them. Go for it. Good job, Jillian.
Can we eat the seeds too?
Don't eat the seeds. They're going to make your tummy hurt. And if you save the seeds, you can take them home with you and plant them outside, and maybe an apple tree will grow.
Next week, would I have a tree?
It's not going to be a week. It's going to be a long time.
Like how long?
After I make my apple tree grow, I'm gonna bring the apple in my lunch.
Sounds awesome, Emily.
I'm gonna make apple pie.
You're going to make apple pie. What else do you think you can make with apples?
Applesauce.
Applesauce. Oh, I love
Apple
applesauce.
juice.
Apple juice. What else can you make?
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups? Are there apple fruit roll-ups?
Probably.
Probably. I bet we could find a way to do that.
Caramel apples.
Caramel apples.
I like caramel apples with candy on them.
Me too. Those are yummy.
What about
Page is crooked.
apples and peanut
Your
butter?
first page crooked.
Apples and peanut butter. I love apples and peanut butter. Those are really good. All right. All right. Do y'all think y'all know how an apple tree grows?
Yes.
Do you think you can go home and show your mom and dad your book
Yes.
and teach them too? Awesome. Y'all did so good today. I'm so proud of y'all.